Yes, this is great. Yes, welcome. I'm Joseph. Good morning. Yes, today is a bright and sunny, beautiful time here in the city of Fort Worth in Texas. We're already in summer in the United States and across the western, hemisphere of the earth. What we say western now implies America, looking at Europe. These are called the West. They're already in summer. Summer means the temperature is increasing, bright and sunny period, It's a beautiful and wonderful session here in the city of Fort Worth. Fort Worth is a city I'm broadcasting live from my bedroom. It's 10 a.m. here in Texas. There are 6 time zones in America as we speak. California is just 8 a.m. in the morning. There are 13 time zones in Russia. That means the world itself is time zone based. Wherever you're watching from, whether in Texas, in North America, in London, in Europe, whether it is China, in Asia, Ghana, in Africa, Brazil, in South America, or Australia, in Oceania. Wherever you're watching all over the world, welcome to Mathematical Therapy Session. Today is Mathematical Therapy MTF-35. Yesterday, by the grace of God, we launched GoFundMe. We are seeking for $5 million to set up the facility of Mathematical Therapy Forum. We want to set up a facility here in Texas and one in Nigeria to start with, because we want every nation of the earth to have mathematical therapy, facility, because the world is going to be changed by Mathematical Therapy Forum, because we are changing the world. Remember that Mathematical Therapy Forum is premised, its purpose, its mission is to pull down the ancient towers of ignorance and in this place erect knowledge, because knowledge is the antithesis of ignorance. Knowledge is the accelerator of our corporate project humanity. Without knowledge, nothing works, nothing moves. Again, my name remains Onoja Yakubu Ako. I am a Nigerian. I'm a mathematical therapist based here in the city of Fort Worth. I'm broadcasting live from my base here in the United States. That is Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome to this session. Today is going to be very explosive. Like I said, no session in Mathematical Therapy Forum is the same. Yesterday, we dealt on very, very cogent issues. Issues that are germane, that are what? Connected and explicitly what? Connected to what? Our being. Today, we're looking at a very, cogent issues again. Today's topic is very epic. Today's topic says, nature is Liqolism. When we say Liqolism means L-I-Q-O-L. Means living questions of life. Economic crisis in COVID-19. Economic intelligence, as we are looking at it today, economic intelligence in COVID-19 crisis. Where does your nation stand? The crisis that is really bedeviling the entire world today as a pandemic is COVID-19. Where does your country stand in economic intelligence? We are going to analyze this courtesy nature, because as we speak, everything is happening in nature. I and you, we are all in nature. Some time ago, before this AD, in BC, there had been the challenge of man to place a face on nature. The challenge of man from BC to this time had been man's inability to put a face on nature. In the course of putting a face to nature, the likes of Adam Smith, because we said this week is going to be what? This week is the week of what? Economics. Today is day 4 that we are analyzing and what? Brainstorming vigorous intellection on what? Economics. Adam Smith, in his book, he wrote March of 1776. That is 244 years and 4 months ago. The book is The Nature of the Wealth of Nations, where he officially pronounced capitalism into existence. He says the nature. That means he tried to interpret nature, but he gave the word capitalism. And capitalism is an economic system that have really, battered, scattered, and shattered the world today. Because the world is struggling with capitalism, because capitalism is not the economic system of the world. These things we have been resolving before this time. I just want to give us a recap. 72 years after, the likes of Karl Marx and his friend Friedrich Engels, 2 Germans, wrote the magnum opus book known as the Communist Manifesto, where they announced communism/socialism into existence. And the world is struggling with communism, socialism today, because these 2 models, there is one, is not the economic system. And we have terrorism. Terrorism is an economic system that destroys everything. The world is struggling with terrorism because terrorism is not the economic system. The economic system that is germane, that is connected to man from time immemorial to death and even to the future. It connects to the past, the present, and the future is autonomism. Why autonomism? Why is it that the world is not struggling with it? And by default, capitalists are, going back to autonomism by default. Socialists are going back to autonomism by default. Communists are going back to autonomism by default. Terrorists are even going back to autonomism by default. Why? Because autonomism, everyone is on the same page. On capitalism, not everyone is on the same page. On the page of capitalism, it's only few persons. Majority are what? Outside the page. On socialism, only few persons. Majority are what? Outside the page. If you don't look at terrorism, only very few persons are on the page of terrorism. Majority of the whole world, they are outside the page. But on the page of autonomism, everybody is on the same page. Why? Because ingrained, we are all inbuilt in every man is what? Autonomic fiber. We are all carrying what? The autonomic fiber, because the economy as it is what? Autonomism. Economy is not capitalism, socialism, or communism or terrorism. This we have elucidated, expatiated, rigorously dealt with, and we just want to create a recap. We are on the same leg of this economic system. We are going to analyze economic intelligence in COVID-19 crisis. Where does your nation stand? Where does your nation stand? We are going to analyze this today, courtesy nature again. But this man's inability to put a face on nature has been the challenge of man, but I've resolved it. Physicists are looking for what? What is the face of nature? Chemists are looking for the face of nature. Mathematicians across the world, they are looking for the face of nature. I have resolved it here. In the course of my 30 years research work, I came here 2016, January. This is 2020, July. Last year, on September 8th, this book was published. This book is Equation Science. It says equation science is original. This is the face of nature. This is nature's identity. Nature is world, mankind, and the environment interacting continuously. This is the identity of nature. This is the face of nature. What the world has been clamoring for ages. From Socrates' time, predates even Socrates, down to this time, and even to the future. This is equation science. On it, we are talking about the basic knowledge, which is what? Mathematical therapy. Therapy connotes healing. That means the disease of man has been ignorance. Adam Smith was ignorant of what? This face of nature, and in his attempt to interpret this, he gave the word capitalism. What about Karl Marx? What about Friedrich Engels and Karl Marx that gave the word, socialism come communism? In their magnum opus book known as Communist Manifesto. This is my own magnum opus. Equation Science, the first of its kind. It's already on sale on Amazon. You can get your copy wherever you want to get your copy. All over the world, you get your copy. And this is a 542-page book. It is page turner. It is very, very detailed. It cuts across everything about man. Sciences, social sciences, technology, engineering, mathematics, art, and humanities. Because of the things we want to really do, yesterday we set up a GoFundMe page to raise up $5 million to set up facility for mathematical therapy forum because it's a serious business. Please support what you can do. Share it across your friends, among your friends, all over the world. We want to set up mathematical therapy forum, facility, equipped where we can beam to the whole world and hit the world and turn the wheel of ignorance that is really clogging humanity, turn it out and pull out all ignorance and set the wheel of our humanity into what? Acceleration. Acceleration by what? Knowledge. Because the wheel is already clogged. Today's topic is very epic. Like I said, in Mathematical Therapy Forum, we are not motivating you, we are beyond motivation. But we are not giving you full lecture because we are into rigorous intellection. We motivate you and we go beyond it, but we don't give you full lecture. We pull down the ancient towers of ignorance by I and you doing what you call rigorous intellection. What we say rigorous means we are all together in it, deep thinking, explicit explanation, obvious to all, connected to all, and true to all. You yourself, you use your tongue to what? Count your teeth that this is indeed true. I will go to the board because, like I said, when you're in mathematical therapy forum, you have to come with your pen and paper because we are bringing things original. We don't cram people's idea here and pour. No, we don't do that. We bring things original and original things from this book. All I'll be discussing is an excerpt from this book. Today's topic again says, nature is Liqolism. Economic intelligence in COVID-19 crisis. Where does your nation stand? Now let's go to the board. I will carry this iPad, go to the board. Now we'll now start the rigorous intellection. When we say intellection means reasoning. Reasoning. I carry my pen so that you can see me writing. I have my pen. Today is 709. Today is Thursday, 2020 at 10 a.m. Texas time. Texas time. Today is MTF-35. Nature is Liqolism. Economic intelligence. In COVID-19 crisis, where does your nation stand? Where does your nation stand? These are very cogent issues. These are really epic times. These are really strange times. Where does your nation stand? Let's address. It's going to be very, very, explosive here today. Everything we'll be discussing here today is going to be premised on what? The phase of nature. Because whatever you do, you are in nature. Whether you're in school, whatever you are studying, it's about what? A piece of nature. You're in your office, it's about a piece of nature. You are at home, what you are doing at home is about what? Piece of nature. Whether you are in government, out of government, whether you are in the market or not in the market, wherever you find yourself on the face of this earth, it's all about what? Activity of a piece of nature. Nature is everything. Nature is for everyone. Nature inhabits, carries everything about life. When we understand nature, we will not know how to deal with realities of life. Because nature is premised on, I will use the same statement, GG. Galileo Galilei, when I say 1623, you know what I mean. Where it says, mathematics is the language with which God has written the universe. Now, this is what Galileo Galilei is talking about. That nature is, by my paraphrase, is mathematical properties. Mathematical properties. Now, this is nature. This is the phase of nature. This we are going to use to deal with today's topic. Today's topic is very epic. It's very epic, it's very connotative, and very explicit. It's very epic. Let me bolden it for the sake of better, viewership. This is a pen that has a big surface area, so I can see it very bold. The word is bracket open and close, mankind and the environment. This is nature. This is nature. Since this is nature, the topic says nature is Liqolism. When we say Liqolism, means is a derivative of liquor. Liquor, nature is living questions of life. Questions of life. We call it what? Liquor. Not liquor like the normal alcohol you take, no. This is Liqol, liquor. Now, when we say questions of life, you know of what you call problem. You have heard of problem. You know of problem means a challenge, a difficulty that comes in the question to be answered. You want to, go around the mountain. There's a mountain, you want to move forward, but there's a mountain standing before you. The mountain is a problem. It's a question that you have to answer it. It's either you want climb over it, which is an answer, or you go around it, which is an answer, or you burrow through it, which is an answer, or you carry a bomb and raise it down, which is what? An answer. To the mountain before you, you have 4 answers. You see, problem comes in the, problems, challenges comes in the form of what? Questions. That's what I say, living questions of life. Nature, like we said when we are dealing with what? The two domains of life. We say nature domain and supernatural domain. Remember this? You see this? Let me bring it close. You see this? This is nature domain, and this is what? Supernatural domain. This is physical reality, time zone. This is timeless zone. Now this and this, these are the 2 domains. Good. Now, from what you can see, the nature domain is powered by the supernatural domain. The supernatural domain is an infinite realm. When we say realm means domain, that is a place of operation. Then the nature domain is a finite realm. But this finite realm is surrounded by what? Infinite inspirations. You see, in these infinite inspirations, questions are being asked daily. COVID-19 is a question. People cooked up COVID-19, coronavirus 2019 outbreak in the city of Wuhan, China, was cooked by man to dominate man. Now, it's already now a pandemic. That means it's a global what? Infection. As we speak today, over 500,000 persons have died. Over 11 million what? Infection cases, scenarios, infectious cases all over the world, confirmed. As we speak, the world is locked down. Even though there is a piecemeal world opening. Even now in America, now there is a second wave of what? Infection. Across Brazil, Nigeria, Africa, Europe, Asia, Oceania, all over the world is impacted by what? Coronavirus, aka COVID-19. It's a question. It's a living question. Because nature is a living system. And when we say system, when we say nature is a living system, let me just recap again. This is nature, the living system. It says, a living system is a self-organizing life form. That's a living system. Now, nature being a living system means it's a self-organizing life form of mankind and the environment interacting continuously for the well-being of what? Humanity. That is what nature does. Nature is catering for 8 billion persons and is not complaining. Nature is feeding 8 billion persons irrespective of your time zone. Nature is taking care of what? Everybody. That is nature. Now, this here says super environment. In every super environment, there are what? Infinite sub-environments. Now, if I break this one down, I break it down here. It says like this. You can see my hand. All right, let me come. So that I'll bring it up. You can see me very well. Yes, you can see my hand very well. You can see me really good. Now, if I break this one down, I put it like this. I put N down. I come this way. I come this way, I put like this. E. I put small I down. Means the world, mankind, and the environment are what? Variables. But we have 8 billion persons in the world. As we are speaking, like me, I have millions of people in my body. The same thing with you. When you meet with your spouse, you produce. You see how it goes. Your body, you are carrying thousands of souls in your body system. The environment, I am standing in a sub-environment, in a house. In your house is a sub-environment. You can't occupy everywhere in your house. You are standing in a sub-environment. In your house, you're standing in an environment. In a city, in a state, in a country, in a continent, in the world. You can see how it goes. So the world itself is a super environment with millions of what sub-environments. That's what's happening here. Now, if I use this black pen, I can now define this again, because we're going to use this to deal with today's topic. Economic intelligence. Economic intelligence. What is the place of your nation in the challenge of this COVID-19? You will see, we are going there today. It's a serious issue. Now, in this, we're going to go to the next level. I want to go to the next level. Now, problems. Problems are in two phases. Courtesy Greek, they call it problema and theorema. Problema means problem to solve. That means you are already confronted with challenge and you need to solve it. Then, when you are simulating, like the people that are behind this COVID-19, they went to the lab and they created this virus. And they did what we call theorema. They were what? Problem to what? Find. That is simulation. They simulated the mind, the psychology of the people. How can we dominate these people? They simulated it. And they what? Created the scene. How, when this thing come out, how they're going to inflate the system to create shutdown here and there. These are truisms and these are realities. But because we have put a face on nature, we are going to counter them and counter them really good. Economic intelligence in COVID-19 crisis. Where does your nation stand? Let's go. Now, like I told us, the Greeks philosophers gave us what we call problem means to throw forward. To throw what? Forward. When you are throwing forward, it's either to solve or to find. To solve means you are already confronted with a challenge. How do you what? Surmount it. It's a problem. Then, after surmounting it, you need to start thinking of the future. We call it what? Theorema. So in nature, problems are in twofold. Problema and theorema. Now, in nature, living questions of life, that is liquor, are in twofold. You have problema versus theorema. Some of us that did sciences, you know what is called a theorem, like me as a mathematician. A theorem is a mathematical statement to be proved. Like this. This is a mathematical, statement. It's a theorem. It's a living theorem. It has been proved. I've proved it in a book. I did a lot of what called mathematical, analysis, mathematical interpretations. That's why I see this book is the textbook of nature. This is the identity. This is the face of nature. This book is the textbook of nature. Whatever that is in nature, whether physics, chemistry, agriculture, geography, history, political science, whatever you are doing, is all about what? A piece of nature. And this is the textbook of nature. Get it. You see, it's very interesting. Now, this living question happens in the living system. COVID-19 is a living question. It's a problem. Now look at how it works. We're going to bring this one before we come. We're going to carry this one down. Watch, living question. W equals to what? Man, environment. I will create a space. Now I will bring this arrow down. Bring an arrow down here. You are seeing me. Good. Now, what is the living question? Who controls E? Look at the living question. It said like this: who, which is here, controls. Who controls? I'll not put question mark here. Virus came from what? A part of what? The environment, a sub of the environment. They cultivated this virus. And they then threw it towards what? Man. Because they want to dominate man. No man is born to dominate any man. This COVID-19 is causing now economic crisis. Why we say economic crisis? Because the world itself, economy means household laws in Greece. Means household law, which is this? This is the household law. In this household law, they failed to understand. They did not even know of this. That nature is mankind dominating the environment, not mankind dominating man. Now, because of what they have done, the whole world is suffering. Every country now is suffering, is in pain, irrespective of the economic system, whether it is capitalism, socialism, communism, or terrorism. But by default, all over the world, the nature stands on what? Autonomism. Now, this is the question. I will boldly it now. This is what I call the living question. You see this? When you are confronted with a challenge, it's happening in nature. You see this? It's all about who controls. Now, this is how you write. You write the living question. This is page 3. You write the living question. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is how you write the living question. Write this thing out. Express it. Living question of life. This is how you write it. Who control? Who at man? Because this who is directed to what? Mankind. You can't say what controls nature. No, you can't say that. You can't say which controls nature. You can't say that. You can't say where controls nature. You can't say that. You can't say when control. You have to say who, because it is man. It is a being that is what? Doing the what? The direction. Problems officially are what? Instigated by man. Now, who at mankind controls? E. You don't put question mark. In journalism, we are told of the 5 W's and 1 H in journalism. What, when, where, why, who, and how. How have to. It's not about the what now, or it's not about the W. It has to do with what? How has to do with what? The methodology, the method behind it. Who at mankind controls E? That is Liqol. Liqol. That is Liqol. The living question of life. This living question carries in it several living questions. 1. Let's come down to what to produce. Which is what? An economic question. Remember, we say economic intelligence. We're coming to define what is economic intelligence. When to produce. Why to produce. Where to produce. Who to produce. Then the last one. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not how to produce. This is what we call economic question embedded from what? In this Liqol. Embedded in Liqol. Liqolism. I'll come to why we're going to call it Liqolism. Now, what to produce? This is what I call economic question. Economic question. This economic question is anchored on what? Liqol. Now, you remember we said this week is the week of economics. And we define economics. Economics is a science of nature that deals with the analysis of the means of production of goods and services for the well-being of, because you have to be what? Nature inclined. For the well-being of man. That is economics. That means economics studies autonomism. Because every man is autonomic by, in oppression. You have religion, family, business, development, governance, ecosystem, academia, and potential. This, everybody is what? Is a carrier of autonomic what? Fibers. That is why you do what you do. That is why you aspire to be what you want to be. And this is the totality of man. We call it well-being, means is balance. Every man wants to be fulfilled, to be balanced in life. It is innate. You have heard of rich men committing suicide. You have heard of rich men committing suicide. Why are they committing suicide? It's because money, at the end of the day, after you have made the money, it's not enough. You can't be sitting on money to say you are fulfilled. Like, you must have 8/8. If it is not 8/8, it's not 8/8. 1/8 cannot give you fulfillment. 2/8 cannot give you fulfillment. Fulfillment is what? 8/8, which is what? Autonomic. Now let's come. From this now, we now come to this. We now move forward. Now, this COVID-19 was cooked by man to intimidate, to harass, to threaten, to what? To box humanity to a corner. And they think that they will see the end of mankind. It's a lie. They can never. No man can decimate humanity. It's only the super being, which is God, that controls the infinite realm, that can dominate and eliminate and decimate nature. Because you cannot destroy what you did not create. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot what? You cannot destroy what you did not create. No man born of a woman, from the past to the present to the future, can decimate humanity. Why? Because nature predates them, nature will expire them. Nature predates you, nature will expire you. Nature predates you, nature will outlive you. Look at the likes of Socrates, who died 2,500 years ago. His exploit is still what? Is still on because of the good things he have done. Look at Adolf Hitler. In 1939 to 1945, 6 years, he tried to what? To destroy the whole of what? Israelite, but he failed. When the Americans entered into the war, what was the statement of Winston Churchill? He says, the war has ended. Go and read your history. Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister dead of London, UK, he said the war has ended because the Japanese, who happened to be the ally of Germans, touched the tiger by the tail. Remember James Hadley Chase's book? I read it in 1997. The tiger by the tail. He says the war has ended because the Japanese, the ally of Germany, they have touched the tiger by the tail. And when you touch the tiger by the tail, it will turn back to what? To bite. You remember the Pearl Harbor bombing? Go and read your history. I'm just trying to recap so many things here. Now, the likes of them, they have been predated by nature, and nature has expired them, outlived them. Nature is still living. There is a way nature, expire and expel bad products. Nature is a living system. That's why in this book, when I wrote this book, remember I said here, the earth is a living planet. Watch, the earth is a living planet. Here is nature. It's a living system. It exhibits the 8 characteristics of what? Living things. Mr. Niger D. It moves, it reproduces, it feeds, nutrition, irritability, that stimuli. Mr. Niger D. It grows, it excretes, and what? Re-expire. These are products of nature, and that's why we talk about autonomism. 8. Then we look at the other thing that talk about what? D. There is death. Death here means wastages. It wastes you out. It takes you out. Nature. Leave that thing. Leave nature. Now, going by this, COVID-19 has really exposed the failure of the system. Now, this is an economic question. Got to see this. Liqolism. Remember, I talked about problema. Now, problema means problem to solve. Now, let's go now to the next level. Problema. Problem to solve. That means you have existing challenge, existing crisis, existing difficulty, existing. This one means existing. Existing crisis, difficulty, or challenge. Now, COVID-19 is already existing. COVID-19, when we say crisis, if you want to borrow it from, it's a Greek term, krisos. It says, when the situation has entered into a critical point, either you live or you die. Hello? When medical science, when medical doctors now say that this patient health is now what? At a crisis spot. It said that the patient, there is a likelihood that the patient will die, or he or she will succeed, will survive. The earth, it says, COVID-19 is a crisis. The earth now, the world now is at a what? At a crisis. It's either we survive together or we die together. But anathema, it is abhorrent. It is incongruent. It is antithetical that one person will decimate the entire world. We are 8 billion. We are capable and able to what? Decimate it. Yes, they cut the world on the jugular. The world was caught, napping. America is in quagmire. The same thing with Africa, Asia, even Europe there. The whole world is the bedlam, on the bedlam of COVID-19 crisis. It's at a critical juncture. Now look at what is happening in Brazil. Do you follow what's happening in Brazil? In a day, 1,000 plus persons are dying. That is not correct. COVID-19 caught the world napping. As we speak, the world failed to answer its own liquor. The global economy is failed to answer its own word, liquor. COVID-19 is a problem. It's a problem to solve. It's already existing. It's not. We are going to go to theorema. Because when you go to your lab, problems that are not existing, you are bringing them to being. That means you are what? Doing theorema. From theorema, we enter to problema. The problem was cooked, that was not existing. It was cooked in the lab. It was theorema. And they spread it into the world. Become what? A problema. Now the onus is on us to take this problema and masticate it. You know what God masticates? You carry bones in your mouth and you chew it to dust. We are capable to do it. Charles Kuku, you are welcome. Lola Omigade from Canada, you are welcome. You know what God masticates? Some of us, we from Africa, we carry bones, we chew it to a dust and spew it out. It was a theorem. Some person cooked it and spread it into the world as a problem. Now that we know it's already existing, how do we decimate it? We come now. This is problema. Now let's go to the next phase. Now that COVID-19 is a COVID-19. COVID-19 is a problema. It's a problema. It's a living question to be answered. How do we answer it? We need to now go to these economic questions. You know of intelligence. Your ability to reason, to analyze, to dissect, to interpret issues by what? Your mental faculty, your mind, your brain. That's intelligence. Every human being has intelligence. Our intelligence is super than that of what? Normal animals. That's why we are called human, because we have spirit, we have soul, we have body. Irrespective of what? Your pigmentation, your color of your skin. Whether you are brown, black, oriental, or what? White. I call it double B. That is double B or bold B or W, bold. That means we work together. You know your bow and arrow. When we carry the bow and arrow, we shoot it, we win. This is what we're going to do. COVID-19 is a problem. How do we resolve it? We have to come down to what we call human intelligence. We're already in the human intelligence system. This is the world. The place of man here is what? Domination. The man is the one that wants what? The human intelligence. And this is what we call the human intelligence system. What man needs to do is to look at, it says, economy all over the whole world has already tanked, has already gone into recession, has already stagnated because of what? COVID-19 has arrested the entire world. The whole world is on a standstill. And when we say economy, means the household. The household are what? On 8 legs. Religion will is closed. Family will is closed. Business will closed. Development closed. Governance closed. Ecosystem closed. Academia closed. Potentials closed. You are not working. I am not working. We are not, enjoying our full potentials. All this while. That means the economy has been shut down by virus cooked by somebody, by some persons, because they want to rule the world. Anathema. Incongruent with our humanity. Now, from human intelligence, you know of financial intelligence. You have heard of emotional intelligence. You have heard of several kinds of intelligence. But today we are looking at economic intelligence. Forget what you are told in your dictionary. It says economic intelligence is government officials gathering information because of what? Their government policies. There are so many vague definitions. Like I told us, I said, nature does not play hanky-panky with man. Nature is connotative. Nature is explicit. Nature is what? Direct. When it's going to rain, nature, you will know the cloud will gather. You are feeling hungry. You know that you are feeling hungry. You are not feeling well. You know personally because it's a physical reality. That is nature. You feel it. You feel it. The weather is cold. You know that it's cold. You have to go and what? Get attire. Not this one because we're in summer. You can see my people sweating now. You wear attire that is clothing that will suit the weather of the time. I can't be wearing buffalo clothing when it is hot. I can't do that. I wear buffalo clothing when it is cold because it will give me warm. It will give me what? Warm inside. The same thing. Nature does not play hanky-panky with man. So when nature is defining issues, nature is very explicit. It's very sharp. All these vague definitions in dictionaries, like I said, lexicographers, that is experts that edit and author dictionary. They need to go back to the drawing board. Courtesy this book. They have to consult this book and look at the definition of things again. Every definition need to align to this. When you say physics, you will say physics is a science of nature, put in this equation, that study what? Atoms, energy, and their what? Properties. Chemistry is a science of nature, put in this equation, that study the chemical properties of what? Matter. You will say, what is religion? Religion is the supernatural influencing nature. Put in this. There is nothing you define that will not put this. Whether you are defining management. Because management is a piece of nature. You will say politics is the science that study the art of governance in nature. Put in this. You have to put it. Because nature must be defined. And nature has been defined. You must give it connotative expressions. Now, we have to come back to our word, human intelligence. Because it is the place of man here is what? Dominance. And we are the one that carries this human intelligence. An aspect of this human intelligence is the economic intelligence. Economic intelligence, I define it, let me read it out. Like I said, it's a broadcast. Look at what I said about economic intelligence. I said economic intelligence, EI, is the information gathering to determine the status of wealth, assets, of the means of production, of goods and services of the nations in nature, under what? Review. When we say review means there is careful judgment, evaluation. There is careful what? Judgment. You are studying it critically. There is a critical study. Critical study. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to break this thing, break it down into segments. Now, let me read again. Economic intelligence, forget what you are taught in your dictionary. This is what I have coined it to suit nature. Economic intelligence is the information gathering to determine the status of wealth, that is the resources, of the means of production, that is mankind and the environment. Because mankind produces services, and the same mankind engages the environment to produce what? Goods. Of the nations in nature under review. Now, definition. Economic intelligence, EI, is a subset of, is contained in human intelligence, HI, is the information gathering to determine the status of wealth assets. I call it SOWA, SOA, status of wealth assets, of the means of production of goods and services of the nations. Remember the topic. Where does your nation stand? So it's going to be of the nations. Because government have to come to play. Government have to come to play. Of the nations in nature. Under review. This is very serious. This is very, very serious. Sweating now. Now, this is economic. Remember, we are dealing with economic systems here. Now, with the coming of COVID-19, the global economy is already stagnated. It's already suffering everywhere. There's not like a developed economy now or developing economy. Everybody is suffering because of few selfish interests. Over 500,000 persons have died. Over 11 million persons have been what? Infected. There are confirmed cases of 11 million plus. This is antithetical to our what? Our corporate humanity. And we have to address it and annihilate it. Decimate it. They want to decimate us, we decimate them. Now, economic intelligence. Information gathering. Look at it. When you see W, look at what I said here. You see, I said here you put N, small n. When you see W now, you put your country. If I say N1, let's say N1 is United States of America. We just write now, example now, come this way. E.g., when you see N, let's say N1 is United States of America. So when I now say W, I will not say W1, I will not say equivalently, I will say US. US is equals to what? Its own people. There are 320 million people in in America. That is the population for so. Or let's say 350 million. I will write here M350. You see, that is the population. 350 million. Then the environment of America is about 10 million. Let's look at it this way. I want to know. Let's look at it this way. United States of America. let's look at the landmass. The landmass of America. The landmass of America. The population says 328 million. That's what is, I can see here now. USA Wikipedia. I just want to create a sim so that you understand what we are dealing with here. Now, the landmass of America is the capital, language, this and that. Area. The landmass of America is 9.8 million square kilometer. The landmass of America is 9.8 million square kilometer. The landmass of America is 9.8. Watch, you see now. 9.8 million square kilometer. That is the landmass. You see how it goes? This is simple analysis. So, nations in nature. Watch, this is nature. Now, there are 196 nations under United Nations recognition. So now we are dealing with United States here. Then we read it says 1320. Let's assume it is 350 million. Then the landmass, the environment of America is 9.8 million square kilometer. Guy, Canada is bigger than America in landmass. This is big. Now, put your country. Let's say your own country is let's go to Oceania. We say Australia. Put Australia there. W2 Australia. Put the population of people there and put the environment. You see how you syndicate it. These are nations in nature. Look, remember what I said, nations. And when we say nations means it's a political sovereignty. It has political sovereignty. It's a country that governs itself. It has sovereignty. It's sovereign. That's what we say, nation in nature. Now, with the coming of COVID-19, the question that COVID-19 is asking man, Liqolism, that is affecting everywhere, we now call it what? Liqolism plus ism, not Liqolism. Liqolism plus ism is now what? Liqolism. That means nature is hub of Liqolism. That means when we say Liqolism means nature is the house that brings out what? Living questions of life. It brings out daily, continuously living questions of life. COVID-19 is a Liqolism of nature. Now, because we have human intelligence, how do we deal with it? COVID-19 is Liqolism of nature by the hand of man. Man inordinate quest to dominate fellow mankind. Is it in tandem with nature? It is not. Nature says man is to dominate the environment. So now, COVID-19 is man's inordinate ambition to dominate fellow man by using his human intelligence, because he knows how to cook virus to arrest fellow man and arrest their economic, arrest the economy. Economy means household laws. Everybody is living in the economy. Without the economy, you can't survive. Sorry, excuse me. We survive by virtue of how we relate to the economy. So now, this COVID-19 has arrested the world. That means to say, man has not solved it. 500,000 persons have died. That is 6. COVID-19 500,000 plus people have died. Over 11 million affected all over the world. Now, the issue there is that nations of the world, nations of nature, what is the result of this? Is we have not been able to answer. Let me clean my face. We have not been able to answer from December last year to now. That is 7 solid months. Man has not been able to answer. There is a quest to get, vaccines, to get the antidote to decimate COVID-19. Because man inability to get this antidote, we are going with they say follow the protocol. Get face masks, use sanitizers. When you are out of your house, get face masks. Use face masks because it helps to what? To reduce the spread also. Save yourself, save others, save humanity. That's why you need to observe the protocol for the time being. Observe, follow it, because you cannot complain when you are dead. You complain when you are alive. So your life is very pertinent. You have to be responsible for your life. Now, if you look at it now, man have not answered. Remember, I said problema. It means problem to solve. COVID-19 is problema. It's a problem to solve. And it is the onus of man, use human intelligence to solve it. But the onus is on government to do what you call EI, economic intelligence, information gathering that will determine the state of wealth assets. That is on this. COVID-19 is a problema. It has not been solved. And the whole world is arrested. That means the effect of COVID-19 today to the whole nations arrested is called what you call red Liqolism. That means the question have not been answered. The question have not been answered because man was caught napping. Because the economic intelligence was poor. Nations have not carried out their economic intelligence very well. Therefore, the whole world was caught napping. Now, the effect of COVID-19, look at COVID-19. COVID-19 on nations of the world is what we call red. The whole world is red. No country is green. No country is even yellow. No country is green because the economic system of the world is disheveled. Some persons are practicing capitalism. Some persons are practicing communism. Some are practicing socialism, which is the same as communism. The difference between communism and socialism is very simple. In socialism, you have democratically elected governments. In communism, it's not. They fight the same into power, but they are carrying the same, nature model. That is what? Fraught with corruption. This is it. This is capitalism. Socialism. He said you catch the man, you muzzle the man, and use the resources of the environment to muzzle this man. You give them houses, you marry for them, you give them facilities, infrastructure, you give them everything they need, but their freedom has been taken. They can't talk. You cage them. That is socialism. They are the same thing. Okay. Now, the whole world, COVID-19 on nations of the world is what? Red Liqolism. Liqolism. This is the state of the nations of the world. The world has not been able to answer it because the nations of the world, they are not on the same page. Some are practicing capitalism. Some are practicing socialism, communism. Some are even terrorism. Pakistan, part of Nigeria, Syria, war is going on. Complete destruction of people and the environment is going on. Where there is fighting, you can't solve any problem. Because you are thinking to survive. And that's what your economy, your economy has been arrested. The impact of COVID-19 on the world today, going by the failure of economic intelligence, is great Liqolism. Liqolism means the living question have not been answered. If COVID-19 has been answered, we move freely. It has not been answered. Because why it has not been answered? Because the world is not on the same page of economic system. Because BCOS, because the world is not on the same page of economic system. On capitalism, see capitalism as an economic system. Capitalism, people are not on the same page. Even in America, America is a capitalist, country. The world is scattered about the issue of capitalism. On capitalism here in America, some persons are coming into government to entrench socialist ideals. Some persons are coming with the thinking to entrench capitalist ideas to the fullest. There is quarreling going on because of what? Humanity is not either of them. The world is struggling to implement capitalism. Because of the manipulation going on, they forced it on people. So on capitalism, people are not on the same page. On capitalism, people are not on the same page. Emphasis. I want you to be very conscious of this. Emphasis. Not on the same page. Not on the same page. Only few persons. Only few. Majority out of the system. Why? Because not I will hashtag it. Not natural. Not nature friendly. Okay, let's use not nature friendly. Let's look at socialism. Socialism called communism. People are not on the same page. On the same page. Hashtag not nature friendly. Now let's look at terrorism. Look at terrorism. Terrorism. Or I call it Armagedonism. People are not on the same page. Hashtag it. Not nature friendly. These are realities all over the world. You see the equation? I will go back again so you can see. You can see this equation. You can see me expressing it here. You see this equation? These are realities all over the world. Well, I've seen it. I will not go back to it again because I've shown it to you. Because people are not on the same page, the whole world is aware of capitalism, socialism, communism, and terrorism. These are economic models that are not nature friendly. Because they are not nature friendly, when living question happens, the world is always caught napping. In 1918, there was a plague in Europe where the issue of face masks happened as well. The world was caught napping. United Nations, October this year will be 75 years old. Even though they have already started doing what they call the preliminaries towards the celebration of the 75th anniversary. They bet. That means if you bring it under 100, if you look at United Nations, 75 over 100, United Nations is 3/4 of a century. That is massive. United Nations is at sea of what to do. It's because United Nations is ignorant of what is nature and how nature works. United Nations is doing what we call trial by error method to solve the challenges of life. That is to answer liquor. It's not trial by error. There is precision. Nature does not play hanky-panky with man. If it's going to rain, the cloud will gather, everybody will know. Even though you are blind, when it's going to rain, you will feel it because in nature is physical reality. Pierre, we have shown it to us previously. Now, if you look at all this, the world is exhibiting capitalism. Some parts are exhibiting socialism, communism. Some parts are exhibiting outrightly what? Terrorism, which is war. Syria is already, look at Damascus. Damascus, if you know the history of Damascus, if you look at Damascus used to be a beautiful zone. But today Damascus is a shadow of itself. Look at Lebanon. Look at part of Nigeria. Look at the whole world is a bedlam of one destruction or the other happening. These things have to be arrested. These are basements of what? Economic systems. Because in this economic system, capitalism, socialism, communism, or terrorism, people are not on the same page. On capitalism, only few persons are on the same page. Majority are what? Ostracized. They are outside the system. In socialism, only very few persons are what? On the same page. Majority are what? Out of the system because of what? Neither of these three economic systems are nature friendly. And once they are not nature friendly, people will fight against them. By default, people go back to what? They just naturally start agitating for what? Autonomy, unconsciously. But we are bringing it out. The system that will take man from red Liqolism is what? Autonomism. Because autonomism is balanced. Everybody is on the same page. It is on autonomism that the world will answer challenges of life. COVID-19 will be answered based on what? The economic model of what? Autonomism. Autonomism. On autonomism, everybody is on the same page. Why? Why is everybody on the same page? Because it is nature friendly. Everybody want to be fulfilled. Everybody aspire, whether you are a theist, believe in God, or you don't believe in God, you have a religion. There's no, I don't believe in God, it's a religion, no. Hello? Atheism is a religion. I don't believe in God, it's atheism. Example, no, not that I don't believe, I believe in God. My religion is Christianity. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior of the whole world. That is my belief. Yours could be Judaism. Yours could be what? Islam. Yours could be what? Hinduism. Yours could be Buddhism. Or whatever. Shintoism. Confucianism. Whatever your manner of religious beliefs. Then everybody has a family. Everybody, aspire to have one business interest or the other. People have what? Interest for governance, for development, for the ecosystem, for academia. People aspire to get learning. People want to showcase their talent. You can see these are aids. These are intrinsic. These are nature bound. Because on autonomism, everybody's on the same page. Why? Because nature friendly. You just hashtag it. Nature friendly. The world today by COVID-19 is on red Liqolism because as it stands today, going by government, nations of the world, the government policies are either capitalistic, socialistic, communistic, or terroristic. When you are taking the means of production by force, without the people what? Giving you their consent, you are communist, or you are socialist, or you are a terrorist. And when you are taking it and that's why only few persons will have and control the entire resources of the nation, you are a capitalist. And not everybody is in it. Because of these three models that are already happening in the world, COVID-19 COVID-19 on nations of the world is what? Red liquolism. Let me use green. COVID-19 is red liquolism. When we say liquolism means living questions of life. That nature is the hub of liquolism. Means nature is spinning what? Liquor every day. Living question of life. COVID-19 is a problem to solve. And the world has not solved it because the world is not on the same page. Some persons, some nations are practicing, capitalism. And even that nation, they are even quarreling. They are even quarreling among themselves. In America, not everybody support capitalism. Majority don't. But they are defaulting to autonomism. What about Canada? What about Nigeria? What about Europe? Europe like Switzerland, Germany, Italy, UK. Just name them. Austria. What about Asia? Asia, the likes of China, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. We have Russia, because Russia is part of, they call it Euro-Asia. Some part of it split into Asia, some parts split into what? Europe, because of the landmass of Asia is the largest so far in the world. What about Middle East, which is still taken as what? Asia. Turkey, Israel, Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Pakistan, even though they say it's not a nation. We have to respect them. But what is happening there? The world, they are not on the same economic system model. Now, we are bringing the world to, we are analyzing the situation as it is now. The crisis of the world now as it is now is COVID-19 has taken the world to what? Red liquolism. That means the question of COVID-19 have not been answered. For COVID-19 to be answered, the world must live where it is now and enter into the nature-friendly economic system, which is what? Autonomism. Autonomism is where, until we come to the same page, liquolism will be happening, because in nature is the hub of what? Liquolism. Liquolism is the spinning out of what? Living questions by nature. Liquolism, living questions of life. Nature is a living process. Is always what? Bringing out questions to answer. Either it's a problema or somebody will what? Instigate and bring what? Theorema. So nature is the hub of liquolism. Every day we are liquolizing. Liquolization is happening everywhere. The liquolization that is everywhere today now is called what? COVID-19. It's a pandemic because it's everywhere. COVID-19 is the liquolization all over the world. And the status of it up to now is what? Red liquolism. That means the question has not been answered. If it has been answered after 7 months, we're not supposed to be what? Going out in fear. How do we take it from red liquolism to green liquolism? Now how? Solution. How? Means method. How do we transmute from red liquolism to green liquolism? Simple. How do we come to, let me use black so that I will make it, you are seeing me well. Okay? Let me put it here so that it will come very well. Good. You can see me very well. Good. Now, how do we transmute from red liquolism to green liquolism? How means methodology. Remember, when to produce, why to produce, where to produce, who to produce, what to produce. These are not the challenge. The challenge is what? How do we get there? Because when you talk about produce means it's an economic question. And when we say this economic question has to be based on what? Economic intelligence. We call it nations of the world need to be on what? Autonomism to establish national economic intelligence units. Nations of the world. Nations of the world need to be on the same page, which is called autonomism. Autonomism. Which is what? This autonomism will take the world from what? We answer the question. We take it from red to what? Green Liqolism. Green. It is only autonomism that will take the world to what? Green Liqolism. That means the question, the living question that need to be answered, the challenge, the crisis, the world today is on the tipping point. It's on the critical, point where it's either it dies or it lives. COVID-19 is a crisis, a global crisis that has taken the world now to a tipping point. It's either it lives or it dies. There is 50-50 chance, but it can never be. We are going to live. Because it is intrinsic in every man to aspire for religion, to pursue freedom of family, to aspire for what? Business, to what? Aspire for development, governance, ecosystem, to aspire for what? Academia, to aspire for what? Talent, potential fulfillment. Because nature caters for all. Nature carries everybody everywhere. It caters for all humans. All humans. So the economic intelligence here now says now, simple. Every nation of the world, excuse me, every nation, I'm back. Every nation of the world need to set up what we call National Economic Intelligence Units. Intelligence units. When you set that one up, what you do, watch my hand. It says economic intelligence is the information gathering to determine the status of the wealth. Now, look at it now. When you set up National NEIU, these people they'll be working on what? The lifeblood of the system. What is the lifeblood of the economy? The lifeblood of the economy is what? Problema or theorema. That is liquor. Living question. You will be working on before, during, and after crisis. Before means the resources that produces the goods and services. The people of the nation, you carry out what you call quality evaluation. People that are productive, people that are producing, people that have the capability that are already producing, you harness them. You bring them, you bring them in. You don't destroy your own. People are creative out there. Bring them in. Don't say, because I don't like him and he's good, you throw the person out. You don't do that. Before, during, and after crisis. Before crisis, you carry out quality assessment of the people. People that are already producing, you bring them in because these are people that are the drivers of the economy. Then you now go to the E. The E you have to do with what? The land, the air, the water, the space. Every nation has land, has water, has air, has space. Even though you are not bordering the coastline, you are a neighbor to a country that is bordering to the coastline. That means you have water. Even though you don't have coastline, rain falls, you have water. You can still dig the ground and still bring out water. These are truism. You carry out what? Quality research, and the resources that leads to the production of goods and services. Courtesy now at E. You look at it. You know the quantity of gas and oil you have. You don't hide them. There's not like smoke screen here. Nature does not play hanky-panky with man. The same thing, we have to imitate nature. We need to be transparent. Capitalism is not transparent. Socialism is not transparent. It's opaque. You still remember in the equation. You still remember in this equation. Capitalism is not transparent. You look at it. You say you close it, there's no transparency here. You say you close it, there's no transparency here. Terrorism say you close both, there's no transparency. There's only transparency here. So capitalism is opaque. Socialism is opaque. Terrorism is opaque. It's only autonomism that is transparent because it opens both mankind and the environment. These are the 4 living equations that are governing the entire world. From the second capitalism to terrorism, the 3 equations, they are opaque. It's only autonomism that is transparent. You carry out transparent analysis of what? The resources at E, land. What are the resources we have in our country? On land, plants and animals, you take them out. You carry out quantitative analysis. Plants and animals, you carry them out transparently. Like in North Dakota. North Dakota in America has oil. They have resources. You carry out qualitative analysis. You bring all that they have. You now aggregate them. You now rank them. Put them out. If there are 50 states in America, what does North Dakota produces? You put them out at E. What does Texas produces? You put them out at E. You aggregate them. Then you now carry the people. People that are what? People are the place of people here. Watch my hand. People here. The place of people here is what? Dominance. Dominance. You carry the people. It's the people here that are producing services that are still going to what? Interact with the environment to produce the goods. Then people that have the natural inclination to be inventive, innovative, creative. You in every nobody, not 2 human beings are the same. People that are mechanically good, you bring them to mechanical aspects. People that are electrically good, you bring them to electrical aspects. People that are what? Administratively good, you bring them to what? Administration. People that are whatever, people that are into athletics, people that are into dancing, art and humanities, everybody has a place in life. You put them in their place. Integrate them. You harness. When everybody knows that his or her contribution is not abused, they will fight to make the system work, and that is what autonomism is all about. Economic intelligence. You carry out economic intelligence analysis of your place. Because we have not done that. Look at what is happening in the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. One of the most vibrant, rich, naturally endowed country in the world is in Africa. I'm not speaking because I'm an African. Africa is the most blessed continent in the entire world. The future, as I speak, belongs to Africa. Europe, Asia, North America, South America, Oceania, they will come back to Africa because the future is Africa. And the onus is on Africa. It's on us as Africans. Wherever you are, whether you are at home in Africa or you are in diaspora like myself. I'm going back to Nigeria. If the onus is on Africa, the 55 countries of Africa, whether plus Seychelles, Madagascar, Comoros, to make sure that what? Africa resources are harnessed. You carry out African Union, carry out what they call Economic Intelligence Analysis, EIA, of Africa. Every country is endowed. Then North America carry out the same thing, EIA, Economic Intelligence Analysis, concerning the resources that lead to means of production. The people, no two human beings are the same. The same thing. Every human being has usefulness. Remember yesterday we discussed on what? Value. We dealt on the issue of value because some persons are speaking that some persons don't have, not everybody is created to be valuable. That is arrant nonsense. That is classical, bunkum. That is not acceptable. And once you are born into this life, you have a question to answer. That is what you are a carrier of Liqolism. You are a Liqolist in motion. You are a living question of life in motion. You carry a question to answer. Like me, I have answered the question. I have Liqolized the challenge of man's inability to put a face on nature, which I have done. This is my Liqolization. Look at this. I've answered it. It is no longer red liquor. It's now green. Means it has been answered. I have Liqolized this. Liqolism. I have Liqolized this. This has been a long time Liqolization. That was a red Liqolism. It's now green Liqolism because it has been answered. Now the onus is on the world now to run with it, implement it, and the rest is history. From this nature now we are talking about, autonomism, because autonomism has never been in existence until the Liqolization of the challenge. That means man's inability to put a face on nature has been answered. Since it was answered, from there, autonomism came to what? To be, which you are aware today. Now, every country carry out what we call Economic Intelligence Analysis, EIA. From that body set up, National Economic Intelligence Unit. It is NEIU that will carry out what we call Economic Intelligence Analysis of their own country. Look at the people, all the people, whatever they are doing. Look at them. Carry out the survey. We call it what? Under review means there's a critical evaluation. Critical. You look at everybody according to their words. According to the word, the value of their quota into the system. I'm a mathematician. You have to meet me at mathematics. How does my mathematics benefit the system? That you already know. Then I look at somebody that's originally gifted into economics. How does his economics benefit the system? You integrate them. Because potentials are to be integrated. Potentials are to be integrated. These are realities going on in the world. I've taken my time to do, ample explanation. Now, let's wrap this thing up. Go to put the model on it. Put the model on it. Today is very interesting because this COVID-19, we are taking it from red Liqolism to green, Liqolism. It must be answered and dealt with once and for all. The red people are dying. It's not correct. It's not excusable. Humanity must not suffer anymore. Enough is enough. I put this one here. I call it Now, this, well, that's okay. Solution. Every nation, every national government, whatever government that is already there. In America, the government in White House now is a Republican, party government. In Nigeria, the government that is in power now is APC party government. In South Africa, the government that is in power now is still ANC party government. In UK, if it is Boris Johnson, I think Boris Johnson is a Conservative Party government. In Canada, is Justin Trudeau party government. Whatever government that is in power need to set up what we call national sets, every national government set up national economic intelligence unit, NEIU. This is autonomism, because everybody will be on the same page. I know that I am moving on 8 wheels. I have religious inclination, family inclination, business inclination, governance, development, ecosystem, academia, and potential inclinations. That means I am autonomic in motion. We all know all these things. Then you now form, you carry out, you form this. This now, the mission, the purpose of this one is to what? Execute. Execute, EIA. Economic intelligence analysis of the nature, of the national world is this. The means of production. The people, you carry out what everybody can do, because no two human beings is the same. You carry out qualitative, review. You carry out qualitative analysis of everybody's, value contribution, quota in the system. Because yesterday we dealt with value, we are bringing it to now. Everybody has a value. What that person or what he or she can do, you say them, okay, you're into arts and humanities. You can do movies. You can do drama. You're into fine arts. You can draw. You put them, set them. You compartmentalize them. A is for this. People doing this. You arrange them. You set them up. Everybody. You aggregate everybody according to the what? Their valued contribution to the system. Then you now go to the E. You take the M. You carry out qualitative analysis. You carry out the E. You now look at land, air, water, and space. What are the resources that leads to the production of goods? On land, what do we have on land? That is our what? Wealth asset. Remember, we're talking about what? Wealth asset. Status of wealth asset. When we now get everything together, we now know what will give us the asset that will generate our wealth. We now arrange them and what? Archived it. National. There's a body that superintends over this. National Economic Intelligence Unit. Because economic intelligence is the information gathering that determines the status of wealth assets, of the means of production of goods and services of the nation in nation, under review. The nation in nature. All nations in the whole world, they are what? Operationalizing in what? Nature. They are what? Product of what? Nature. They are all feeding from nature. So that part of nature, remember this equation of United States. United States is the people here. We are using 350 million, people as the population. Then the landmass means 9.8 million square kilometer. It's a very large. America is a continent. Nigeria is approximately 1 million square kilometer. That means America is 9 times bigger than Nigeria. That is my own country. America is 9 times bigger than Nigeria. America is 9 times bigger than Nigeria. Now, you have this. The resources of the environment, you go to each country, each state, you pick them and now arrange them, you catalog them. Texas has this. You go to Brazil. Brasilia has this. Rio de Janeiro has this. You go to Argentina, whatever state, you just look at every country carrying out what we call their EIA, Economic Intelligence Analysis. Then you now look at which of these assets will give us wealth. When you don't know all this together, officially you have done what you call, you have concluded, okay, let me put it here. You have concluded on, when you finish everything there, this is 11. When you finish completing, when you finish working on EIA, you have just done what you call status of wealth assets analysis. This one you have not done. Status of wealth asset analysis. You don't know where you stand in the entire world. There we can have 100 status. Let's put here. So where status of wealth assets analysis. You don't know where you stand. When there is challenge, you know your wealth. You know what any individual can do. Now, you now take it to what we call B, D, A, crisis, situation, room. You know what this one does? Before crisis, you are working. During crisis, you are working. After crisis, you are working. This one now becomes what? A circle. It becomes a circle. It becomes a circle. You see this? It becomes a circle. Watch. This is what? Before crisis. This is what? During crisis. This is what? After crisis. Because whether I like it or not, in nature is what? The hub of what? Liqolism. Because nature is spinning out what? Living questions of life every day. It's either it's a problema, question to solve, or theorema, question to find. So now this AIA, they'll be working around the clock. No nation will be taken unaware. No nation will be taken unaware. Even though they cook another COVID-20, nobody will be taken unaware, because you have before crisis, they are working. During crisis, they have solution already. Because these people, because they are researchers, they are working, they are analyzing, they know what is problema. They know that nature inhabits what? Problema and theorema. Problema means problem to solve. Theorema means problem to find. These are issues germane with nature. Nature is the hub of Liqolism. Problem to find, problem to solve. Now, because they have this knowledge with them in this system, look at it. This is the nature. Because they have this knowledge in this knowledge of nature, how nature works. These people that are working on this, wonderful. They are doing what they call BDA. Before crisis, they are working. They are looking at would-be problem. They are simulating. That's theorema. Then, as problem happens, because they have already made solution, they counter it. When you simulate, when it happens, you know how to deal with it. You know that. When you do your theorema, when problem happens, you tackle it. But when you don't do theorema, and problem happens, you'll be taken away. That's what's happening today. The world has been sleeping. The world has not been doing theorema. The world has been, napping. Problem happens, and the world is scampering for what? Solution. It's scampering here and there. The world is desperately looking for solution. You have to do theorema to understand, to know how to deal with what? Problema. Theorema, you need to do what you call problem to find. You simulate. You start imagining. You start looking at how nature works. When you understand how nature works, you understand theorema. And when you don't understand theorema, when a problem happens, whether by natural processes or by human workings, you deal with it. Tsunami. Tsunami is earthquake on the ocean floor. When the water bodies, there's earthquake in the ocean, in the sea. You remember what happened in December 26th of 2004. Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. What happened there? You remember that destruction where we lost 325,000 people in one swoop. Where you're going to build houses there. The BDA officials will be working. They don't know how the kind of structure. That means architects will know the kind of structure to build around what you call red zones, ring of fire. That means where you have geographic happenings. You have earthquake, you have a tsunami, you have a volcanic activities happening there. Architects and civil engineers now know the kind of structure to do that because they have done what they call analysis of the environment, of the structure, and how to build it. So that when there's an earthquake, the environment, when it shakes, the building cannot collapse. People cannot die. This is what called BDA. Before crisis, they are working. During crisis, they are working. After crisis, they are working. It's a system. It keeps on evolving. BDA, crisis situation room. You see it? BDA, crisis situation room. The NE. I've already closed it here. The NEIU, the National Economic Intelligence Unit, set up by the government of every nation. Their work is what? After they have done their EIA, Economic Intelligence Analysis, assessment of what every people wants. They have cataloged it. And now looking at the E. What the E of the nation is all about. The land, the air, the water, and the space. What each produces. You now catalog it. Then you now take it into next phase. BDA. Before, during, and after crisis situation room. These people will be doing what you call problema and theorema. That is their work. You see, people will be happy to work because they are working for the well-being of the people. If you are not good in analysis, you will not be brought into the system. There's something like eye service or chronism, favoritism. It is merit that counts. You are not into analysis, you will not be brought into it. It's only people that have giftings for analysis, that know how to analyze issues and pick out grains. The seed from the wheat, the seed from the chaff. 12. BDA. Crisis situation room. What is their mission? Problema and theorema. Problem to solve, they are working on it. Problem to find, they are working on it. Here you simulate. Here you what? Work on existing crisis. Simulate crisis. Work on existing what? Crisis. Like now, we have COVID-19. With the existence of National Economic Intelligence Unit in every country, after they have carried out what we call economic intelligence assessment of their means of production, because it says status of wealth assets. What resources here? What resources here can produce asset for us after they have cataloged the people according to their what? their ability, according to the value they contribute into the system. I'm a mathematician. My value into the system is mathematically inclined. Somebody is a pilot. I cannot pilot a plane. People that can pilot a plane, they can pilot. People that can, fly helicopter or plane. Everybody has their own words. You catalog people according to their words. You put them in their place, their position, their place of value. Then you now look at the resources of the land. You place it according to the word, their place of value. The part of the country that has gold and silver, copper, iron ore, oil and gas, earth materials, so on and so forth, diamond, platinum, so on and so forth. You catalog it. After cataloging it, you now create everything and take it now to the next phase of the department, which is called BDA, Crisis Situation Room. These are the people of what? People of National Economic Intelligence Units. Their duty is to work on problema and theorema. Existing crisis, problema. Like now, COVID-19 is an existing crisis. Like we said, COVID-19 on nations is red Liqolism. The question has not been answered. Because the world, no nations in the world was doing theorema. Some persons in their own guesstimates went into the laboratory, either in Wuhan or wherever, and they simulated and cultured virus. That is theorema. It has never happened. They culture it now to afflict humanity. Now the world has been caught napping. That means nature is a hub of Liqolism. In Liqolism, you have problema and theorema. You must understand how nature works. When you now have the understanding of how nature works, you now start what? Imitating nature. Remember, nature works with you according to your goals. And since nature is the most valuable processor, what you need to do, you collaborate and process. Remember when we dealt with the future of education. We said it's not standardized system again. It's what? It's going to be what? Nature academy. University system has failed the system, has failed the world. COVID-19 has really exposed the failure of university system all over the world. Even yesterday there was a news ahead that Stanford University in California has closed down over 30 of their athletic programs because they are going bankrupt because of COVID-19. Certain universities, even in Alaska, they closed down over 39 courses. Things are happening. Because COVID-19 has shown that the world is on red Liqolism. Living questions of life happens in nature. And the onus is on man, see my hand, the onus is on man to answer living questions of life. And these questions have not been answered. COVID-19 has really exposed the failings of capitalism, socialism, communism, terrorism. Because on all of these platforms, neither of them have all the people on the same page. It's only autonomism, because everybody, irrespective of where you find yourself on the place of the earth, you have inclination for religion, family, business, development, governance, ecosystem, academia, and potential. To religion, there is natural inclination for religious freedom. When you talk about religious freedom, it fights you. It's natural. So the problem of religious intolerance is what? Religion tolerance. To the problem of family is inequality, and discrimination, and racism is what? Equality. No human being is superior to any human being. Never. The whites are not superior to the blacks. The blacks are not inferior to the whites. The Orientals are not superior to what? To the brown. The white are not superior to any race. They're something like superior race. All races are equal. They're on the same template. They're on the same what? Intellectual wavelengths. We're only separated by what? The color of our individual skin, but the color of mankind is what? Humanity. We are humans. We are spirit, soul, and body. Now, the challenge of business is wastage of opportunity. So you now create what we call business opportunity. Means you give opportunity to all. Then you now come to governance. Let's go back to development. The challenge of development is decay of infrastructure, because it's time-based. Means every infrastructure created today, there's wear and tear. What you need to do is what? You keep on what? Building new infrastructure. We keep on what? We say that to development, we say infrastructural what? Growth. Continuity. Then the problem of governance is abuse of power. What is the solution? Statesmanship. So the challenge of the ecosystem is destruction of the ecosystem. Is destruction. What is the solution? Conservation. You care for it and protect it. You don't destroy the plants and animals because you need them, because you are Siamese twins. You can't separate the environment from the man. And you can't separate man from the environment. If you separate them, both of them will die. If you take man from the environment, the man dies, mankind dies, and the environment too dies. You cannot separate man from the environment. Siamese twins. The man and the environment, they are inseparable Siamese twins. They are both joined, both on the side of the head, belly, everywhere they are joined. You can never separate the man from the environment. If you do, both will die. Hence, to the ecosystem is what? Conservation. You care and protect it. Academia is inertia, laziness. We are studying dead men ideas. Go to all the textbooks we use all over the whole world. Nothing new. When people graduate from university today, from schools all over the world, they make first class, second class, and third class, whatever class they make. Even though they're having 5/5 CGPA. Nothing new. We need to develop new theories, and that is the essence of this book. There are new theories and theorems here. This book is a hub. It's a page turner. It's a sine qua non. To academia, the challenge, the solution is what? Cultivation, creativity. You create new things. You cultivate people with originality. As they are bringing theories, you bring them in. Theorems, you bring them in. How it will impact the system. Then talent. The challenge of talent is complacency. We just believe that we have arrived. Who told you have arrived? The solution to complacency is what? Integration. You keep on bringing, as you are experiencing new things in your body, you keep on bringing in them. As you are developing and bringing out your skills, the onus is on the government to integrate, to bring people with original talent into the system. That is what we call autonomism. Now, going by all this, going by the analysis we have not done so far, it is only autonomism that puts everybody on the same page, because it is autonomism is nature friendly, means everybody is natural with everybody. Capitalism is not natural with everybody. That's why COVID-19 is a red Liqolism, means the question have not been answered. Until we become natural, we are all on the same page. As nature is bringing out Liqolism, that is questions to be answered, problema or theorema, we need to be on the same page to answer it. If we're on different pages, we cannot solve any problem. That means disunity does not solve any problem. A family that is disunited is a family that is weakened. Humanity that is disunited is humanity that is what? Weakened. Capitalism has really what? Destroyed the fabric of our humanity. Same with socialism. Same with communism. Same with terrorism. It's only autonomism that unites us together, because we are all on the same page. Everybody is autonomic in motion. Therefore, today's topic says nature is Liqolism. Economic intelligence is COVID-19. Economic intelligence in COVID-19 crisis. Where does your nation stand? Every nation today stands on red Liqolism. Moving forward is what? Every nation needs to go to the page of what? Autonomism, because it's the only economic system Now, let me take us back to this. That's what we're going to round up. You see, everybody is on the same page with autonomism. But on capitalism, only few persons are on the same page. It's not nature friendly. On capitalism, problema and theorema, Liqolism here is always read Liqolism. The status of Liqolism in socialism or communism is what? Read Liqolism. The status of Liqolism, that is living question to be answered, either problema or theorema. As it stands today now, COVID-19 is here, read. It has not been answered. Because from capitalism to terrorism, that means including socialism, none here carries everybody on the same page. People on the same page only on what? Autonomism, because this is nature. This is nature of everybody. Everybody has 8 inclinations in motion. Everybody is what? 8 inclination in motion. Everybody move with this. This is the connector that takes humanity from red Liqolism to what? Green Liqolism. These ones are always red. So now the onus is on nations of the world to start implementing autonomism. It's only autonomism that takes the world to what? Green Liqolism. That means to every challenge that comes to life, there will be answer. Because nature is the hub of Liqolism. It brings out living questions, problem to solve, theorema, problem to what? Find. Problem to find means you simulate. Problem to solve means existing crisis. And like we said, to solve this existing crisis, nations of the world should set up National Economic Intelligence Unit, NEIU, where they will carry out what's called EIA, Economic Intelligence Analysis. The what of every individual, every person in the economy will be what? Will be carried out for the good of the people. You see this? Everybody has value quota. Nobody is useless. Everybody has the value quota. The value quota of everybody will be what? Put in a very beautiful record. We call it a catalog. Will be what? Put in a catalog where it will be arranged from A to Z. Will be in a catalog where it is well arranged, is neat. Then let's look at the catalog of what? Laws, land, air, water, and space. The resources of the environment, all will be what? Arranged accordingly. Then they will now take it to what we call SOA. Status of wealth asset analysis, where they will now establish officially BDA. Before crisis, during crisis, and after crisis situation room. These persons there are analysts. They'll be working, bringing out solutions, as they'll be doing what you call mission on problema and theorema. On problema, they'll be working on existing crisis, bringing out solutions. As they have solutions, they'll be working on theorema, simulating crisis. These people are working on crisis. And when crisis happens, the government will not be scampering for solution as it is today. The whole world, United States here is scampering for solution. China is scampering for solution. Brazil, Ghana in Africa, New Zealand in Oceania, Britain in Europe. The whole world is scampering for solution because the world has been napping. Does not know how nature works. We have opened up here today. Nature works on autonomism. Nature works on Liqolism. Nature is the hub of what? Living questions of living questions of life. Liqol. Nature spew what? Liqolism. It spew what? Problems. Crises are problems to be answered as questions. Now, since nature is the hub of Liqolism, is pure living questions of life to be answered. Because nature is about what? Problema and theorema. Problema is problem to solve. Theorema is problem to find. In problema, you work on existing crisis. In theorema, you work on what? Simulated crisis. That means you can't be taken unaware because you are autonomic. Everybody is autonomic, and you now know you are all on the same page. Autonomism. You now know where everybody stands. Everybody is working on what? Transparent system. There is transparency in the workings of the nation, of the people. Then nobody will be taken unaware. You are on problema, you are on theorema. You can't be taken unaware. Then there is no way crisis comes that it can't be decimated. As crisis arises, it will be decimated. That is how to deal with challenges of life. Nature is living system. Nature is the hub of Liqolism. Nature spew out what? In continuous terms, living questions of life. Liqua. It spew them out every now and then as we are speaking. Challenges are rising. If you are not on problema, you'll be taken away. If you have to be on theorema to counter as it happens, because we are living in a real world. We're living in a real world, physical reality, where you feel what happens to you, because you are flesh and blood. We must collaborate with nature to deal with challenges of life. COVID-19, as it stands today now, has taken the world to red Liqolism, because the question has not been answered. When we come on the same page, we now enter into what? Green Liqolism. It can only happen on what? Autonomism. When we do all these things together, we are working with problema, simultaneously working with what? Theorema. Then there's no crisis that we cannot tackle. We are able and capable of God. We are the people with the human intelligence that produces and governs economic intelligence, financial intelligence, artificial intelligence, and all other intelligence are product of what? Human intelligence. We have all this intelligence because we are naturally imbued with all these things to counter challenges of life and to stand as a people, because our place in life is what? Dominance. We are to dominate the environment and not to be dominated by what? The environment. Virus, COVID-19 is from the environment. It can't dominate us. We are to dominate it. And as we know how to dominate it, we have already opened it up. Problema, theorema, problem to find, problem to solve, problem to find. We work around the clock. Before crisis, BDA. Before crisis, during crisis, after crisis, you are working around the clock. As problem arises, there is solution ready for them. Ready. Thousands of solutions work ready. As they are happening, they'll be countered. Because 8 billion persons can be decimated by challenges of life. We are able and capable. And this is how to deal with COVID-19. And moving forward, this is how to deal with challenges of life. Because life, nature, is the hub of Liqolism. It carries problema and theorema. So we need to work on that premise. Problema and theorema. Problema, problem to what? Solve. Theorema, problem to what? Find. Problema, existing crisis. Theorema, simulated crisis. That means you're working on the clock. You are creating solutions ahead of what? Crisis, because crisis will always come. Crisis will always come in nature, because nature is surrounded by infinite inspirations. Because there are infinite what? Challenges. On this note, we bring this broadcast to a close. Thank you for your partnership, for your viewership, for your participation. Like I said, we started the GoFundMe account yesterday for Mathematical Therapy Forum facility. We want to establish a facility in Texas and across, one in Texas and one in Nigeria to start with. Every country in the world, we want to have facility of Mathematical Therapy Forum, MTF facility all over the whole world. But we want to start with Texas in America, then Abuja in Nigeria. You know, I'm from Nigeria. You know, they say charity begins at home. I need to have a facility in Nigeria. My country needs to have one first. So we are doing GoFundMe of $5 million. Please, it's already there on my page, and please share with your friend. Contribute. No amount is small. No amount is big. In dollars, we want to raise $5 million to set up mathematical therapy forum, because what we are doing, we are changing the world from here, because the whole world is in the sea of the ignorance of the face of nature. And this we have already resolved by this book. It's already on sale on Amazon. This book is all encompassing. There's nothing in nature that this book does not address. We are reinventing the wheel. We are bringing the whole world to a new civilization. The civilization of the knowledge of nature, the science of nature. Everything has to be defined according to what nature. All the lexicographers, that is experts that edit and author dictionaries, they are called lexicographers. They need to go back to the dictionary, to the drawing table, to define everything according to what nature. This is the identity of nature. What is the identity of nature? WME. Interacting continuously. This is the identity, and this is the book, Equation Science. You can get it from Amazon, and the rest is history. Please, this GoFundMe, share with your friends, contribute. No amount is small, no amount is big. We want to raise, we want to go to our facility before the end of this year. Please, I know it's already, today is July 9th, there's nothing we cannot do together. Together we can influence the whole world. And it's not late and it's not early. Let's do it together, please. Join hands with us, and together we can change the face of the world together, because we want to have broadcasting tools to all gadgets. One, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, live. We go on it, live. Then we're having developed our own app where we now syndicate with other communication channels, broadcasting channels across the world, because we want to beam and reach out to everybody. Everybody has to understand how nature works and start readdressing issues. Please partner with us. This GoFundMe, share with your friends, contribute what you can contribute, and the rest is history. I want to thank you for your partnership, for your viewership across the world. My wife and children in Nigeria, Lola, Oseni Grace, my big auntie from Lokoja, thank you. Ojodama Ape watching, thank you. Several persons have come and gone. Please, God bless you all. My wife and children in Nigeria, my wife Victoria Noja, God bless you. My daughter Afedoja will be 8 very soon, this end of the month, that's July. The Lord bless you, Afe. And my twin boys are on Abuja Ojo and Anna Ojo, they are 5 years old. God bless you. My parents, my siblings, my in-laws, the Aldous family, I want to thank you for your support, and I want to thank God for His mercies. I want to thank God for everybody everywhere, even my host here, Eugene Ayo, is from Edo State, who has been supporting me all this while. God bless you. Everybody watching, please share, create a watch party with this. Let it go viral over the world. We are changing the world. Mathematical Therapy Forum is the future. Thank you. God bless you. See you same time tomorrow. Like I said, COVID-19 is real. Please follow the protocol. Take care of your health first. If you die now, you can't complain. Please, you are responsible for your health. Take care of your health. Follow the protocol. Get a face mask. As you live in your house, you're already in the public. Get a face mask. Please don't breach the protocol. Be obedient to the protocol. It's just for a while. Please. The inconvenience is just for a while. But by the grace of God, we're going to conquer it together. And God is faithful. We're going to win together. And in the name of Jesus, we're going to win together in Jesus' name. Please take care of yourself. Please remember, people are hurting. What you can do, whether in cash or in food, you can give people food or give them cash. Please help to reduce the pain. Don't contribute to the pain. Humanity is all about us. Every act of kindness goes a long way. No act of kindness is useless. It's small. No act of kindness is small. Please keep the peace. See you same time tomorrow. God bless you. Cheers. Bye. Thank you. All right.